I believe I'm one person who is in a great position to talk about this because I've said more times than I can number that I am a beneficiary of an education system that worked. Still working to a certain extent, but like my guest from the previous hour, it was better when I was a part of it. Now, I was the president of the Literary and Debating Society in my secondary school, and we did go for debates, lots of them. That experience shaped my school life and indeed my actual life. Because if you think about it, you just might be able to draw a connection from doing debates in school to being a broadcaster as an adult. It's all talk. So if you have a child who you believe has some oratory skills, they understand the business of expressing themselves, or they just want to get better, this just might be the perfect time and place for them. So ensure that they are a part of I Beg to Differ. It's very important. Did you get the instructions? If you did not, well, here he goes again.
Once again, for the verbal contest, I beg to differ debate for secondary schools.
I would like to state unequivocally clear that agriculture should be every.
Welcome back. We go from I Beg to Differ to I've had enough. The crisis and the political scene of River State that is. Well, it's still hard facts. I'm Sam Oracle Chinedu, and we have important conversations to hold. Are you ready? Let's do it. Now, if you live in River State, you are Nigerian, you must have heard of the crisis, the political crisis in the state. The thing is, it is not exclusive to this administration. You also know that politics is the bread and butter of River State. Every administration, every successive government, every transition comes with drama. Unnecessary drama, I must say. Some you might consider a necessary evil. But the headlines, the everything just makes it all the more, I don't want to use the word adventurous, but that's the point I'm trying to make. There's just too much happening. Too much. When I got a job and I had to come to River State, which was my second journey here, I'd been here before for work. One of the many things that I was told by my parents is that the politics. I said, yes, that's Rivers for you. Well, they were not wrong. It's not just a stereotypical statement. It is a matter of fact. Because right here, we are about to have a conversation about politics. What is the new chapter in the drama series of Rivers politics? Well, it is that some political party leaders are not happy that INEC has not conducted a by-election to fill the seats of the 27 lawmakers in the Rivers House of Assembly who allegedly defected 2 years ago. That's quite some time for governance to be on a standstill. Now, while the case of the defection lingers in the various courts, the politicians are accusing INEC of refusing to carry out their legitimate duty of conducting the elections. Speaking on this, spokesperson of the Emeka Beke-led APC, Darlington Wuju, told correspondent Soibi Oruwari that INEC should be blamed as part of the institutions that has allowed the political crisis in River State to linger. Mr. Wuju explained that the letter written to INEC by the acting National PDP chairman and other judicial pronouncement is enough for the commission to conduct by-elections.
openly declared his willingness to join your political party and the person goes ahead to swear to an affidavit, it means that it becomes serious business. So I think that the INEC must share in the INEC is not a proactive one in this instance because they became lethargic. And so all those who now pour blame on INEC should also not be blamed. While on the other hand, our justice delivery system, they cannot shy away from the fact that they have refused to be proactive when it comes to political matters.
Yes, indeed. Darlington Woodju is quite a spirited character. And moving from Darlington to Gogo, who is the spokesperson of the Labour Party, Gogo Wellington agreed with Darlington and says INEC is a part of the problem. Matter of fact, Gogo said it's not a part. INEC is the main problem. Let's hear from him.
It's an overemphasized issue. Till this very moment, we're still wondering why INEC is acting complicit to actions that go against the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because we expect that, as stated clearly in Section 191 of 1G, INEC should have already called for or commenced the electoral process to fill up those vacant seats. But till now, INEC has not done that, which means INEC is showing culpability or complicity in actions that are contrary to the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Now, moving from Gogo off the Labour Party and Woodju off the APC to the APP. Also, the APP leadership in the state called on INEC to conduct by-elections. Let me tell you something. By design and definition, by creation and mandate, political parties are supposed to disagree. Because the idea behind a party is for the purpose of power capture. All of us want that power. So they are almost always at loggerheads. If one person wins, all the other parties become opposition. So the idea behind a political party, besides the 1 million other reasons, is for contest. They hardly agree. But when you see an issue that many political parties agree on, you really want to pay attention like, APC agrees with this, APP agrees, PDP agrees, Labour Party. This must be heavy because it means that for once, which is quite a rarity, their interests are aligned. INEC is part of the problem. INEC is the problem. What is wrong with INEC? Waiting they do INEC. Give us INEC. INEC do something. And while the parties are stating their pieces, agreeing on the same thing, which you might not see in another 50 years, a legal practitioner, Libros Oshoma, said INEC can only conduct by-election when a court asks it to do so. You people are here blaming INEC. INEC did this, INEC did that. It is not their fault. When the court says INEC go, they will go. If it says come, they will come. Leave INEC out of this, he says.
Until the court gives them order to so do. Anybody can call for anything. That does not mean that is the position of the law. INEC, until the court gives them a marching order that these seats have been declared vacant, INEC is hereby ordered to conduct elections. There is nothing INEC can do. Anybody can call for anything. The matter be determined expeditious. Once the court makes a pronouncement on this, everybody...
Multiple state assemblies in the first case before courts, the confusion it has created, the role of INEC, the legal interplay between court ruling and INEC mandate, the systemic delays and the partisan interests. What is all this English I'm speaking? This is the best way to describe the political state of Rivers State. If anybody asks you, waiting they happen for Rivers, just mention it as I did. And when you finish speaking all these words, the perfect response from them will be, then you know you have it. Because if it does not confuse you, there's a problem. So my question for you, because you need to be a part of this conversation at some point, how has the absence of lawmakers impacted governance? I'm not here to argue about validity, legality, INEC did or did not do. Because something we don't realize is that time is not on our side. And if this government does not do as much as it can, you as a citizen might not blame government. You know why? You will say, well, Governor Fubara had a lot to deal with. The political crisis, the State House of Assembly. And you might not be in a position to demand accountability because there is a fight that they are fighting. So I ask you, How has this whole tussle, the absence of lawmakers, the multiple assemblies, affected governance and the legislative process? 0817. Oh my goodness, I'm close to a break. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to hear once again about I Beg to Differ. And when we return, you answer that question. Stay with us.
It's time once again for the verbal contest. I Beg to Differ debate for secondary schools.
I would
Info: political parties in River State demand INEC's action on by-elections. That is a conversation for this hour. And earlier I played the voices of some of those party members. Mr. Wuju speaking on this, spokesperson Emeka Beke-led APC, Darlington Wuju, told correspondent Soibi that INEC should be blamed as part of the institution that has allowed the political crisis in River State. And Gogo Wellington from the Labour Party said INEC is a part of the problem. The APP also spoke on this. But the Lagos-based lawyer Liberus Oshoma said INEC can only conduct by-elections when a court asks it to do so. And I'm looking beyond the technicalities and asking how the absence of lawmakers have impacted governance and the legislative processes. The numbers to call are 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416. Turn off your radio as you call. Good evening.
Yeah, Honorable, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
This is Isaiah George from Buguma and Calabala.
All right. Go ahead, Isaiah.
I completely agree with Luguros Oshoma.
Okay.
You see, what he said is the truth. Because we have a system of leadership at the center who is systematically using every tricks to make sure that the court do not hand down judgment regarding the political issues in River State. And that has led to where we are. If not, ordinarily, these are situations where civilized country will not allow it to linger to where it is so that you don't cause a constitutional crisis and what we have today. My brother, it is very pathetic that this matter that would have been resolved through the court even before now is being allowed to linger. What is the benefit? The absence of those lawmakers who are supposed to be there to make sure that they bring home something to their constituents. I think the absence is really affecting their people. But just like what sometimes we have a guest in the crossfire who said that as it is now today, I think they should send in their stakeholders in those constituencies and political leaders, people who can speak for them to ventilate what they need pending the time when the court will resolve.
Okay.
And that is where we are.
Thank you very much, Isaiah. I don't understand which comes first. A message on WhatsApp reads, the Constitution or the court pronouncement? Saken is asking, what is holding the Supreme Court on this defection matter? And he goes on to say there is no vacuum in the House. Rivers people are fine with the way things are. I doubt that they are, because there are so many constituencies that do not have representation. That's not the way to go. JJ calls from Rumigbo. Hello, JJ.
Yeah. Sam, good afternoon or evening.
All of the above.
I think I totally disagree with Liberal Oshoma.
Okay. Tell me why.
Sam, if me and you are arguing today that you don't work in Nigeria Info anymore, and you said you're still working with Nigeria Info, and Nigeria Info comes out and say, look, Sam is no longer our staff. Now, who is correct? Like somebody asked, the Constitution and the court, which one is senior to each other? The Constitution says once you move, you even depose an affidavit that you have lost your seat. And somebody tells me that we need to wait for the court to do whatever. Why? So as far as I'm concerned, I think it's INEC. Because the PDP itself have written that these people are no longer a party member. And going to that section 109, subsection G or whatever, I've also confirmed that if you do that, that you will vacate your seat. So why is INEC not carrying out their function? What is it that they are waiting for? Or is it that they have something in Abuja that they pour drink every morning to worship? I don't understand.
Okay,
they
JJ.
also have done the needful.
JJ,
I'm listening.
let me use your analogy, right? Nigeria Info says that I'm no longer a member of staff. But then I take Nigeria Info to the industrial court, right? Because that's where I can go for work-related matters. To challenge that position of Nigeria Info. Since the court case is still going, you cannot call me unemployed yet until the determination by the court. Do you agree? No, wait. Now, wait. Let me walk with your own case. Do you agree?
We don't want to fill that gap as a result of you being in court and nothing has happened. They will just leave it. Nobody handle money. Which one is that your program even?
If the case is still in court and they put someone there, that means Nigeria Info has gone beyond the court to say that I am unemployed.
That is what INEC should do. Bring people, conduct election, bring people in while their case still lingers.
You want to put Nigeria Info in trouble? You want to put them in trouble?
You are admitting the entire system, but I'm happy that the system is not suffering because the governor who is in charge right now is representing everybody. That's why you see that she has more projects right now, even though the two constituencies are just out there doing what they know without consulting the people. But the governor is still working for everybody, not working for just one set of people. I think they are very lucky that they have a governor that is ready to work and roll up his sleeve. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, JJ. I'll take a few messages and then go back to the phone lines. If courts give pronouncements on the case and INEC refuse to conduct the election, then we can blame the body. But for now, the problem is on the Supreme Court that is yet to give a final verdict on the case. Anybody blaming INEC is suffering from political illusion, Joe says. Stanley calls from Elelewon. Hello, Stanley.
Yeah, Canada. Good evening.
It's Sam. Good evening.
Okay, Sam. Sorry. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sam, before I look at the issue of INEC conducting the by-election, let me look at the question you asked.
Yeah.
About how this the problem affected
impacted governance. Yeah.
Yes. So if you look at Section 120 to 128 of Nigerian Constitution, it empowers the Assembly to supervise the other two arms of government. And as of today, nobody is supervising the government. Like if you come to my community, where I come from, the internal roads that we have started in the 100 days of our governor, his 100 days in office, was done because of this political crisis. Because our leader, the Right Honorable Okechinda, the minority leader of Federal House of Rep, refused to join in the fight here in Wiki. And those roads were abandoned. And the assembly that are empowered to checkmate and supervise him, he feels, or he no longer works with them. Let me use that word. He no longer sees them as assembly members. Whereas the assembly members remain legitimate assembly members, according to the verdict of the Supreme Court that was delivered on the 13th of December last year. Sam, let me draw you back to, there were 2 House or 3 House members of the House of Rep that defected. Some, was it 1 or 2 from PDP, the other one's Labour Party? I don't know if their seat has been declared vacant. Let's assume, without conceding, that Right Honorable Martin Apehule and his colleagues defected. Let's assume, without conceding. Does it mean that their seat has been declared vacant? See, all these things, most times when I listen to people, they say co-travelers, that their seat has been declared vacant and not the rest. Who declared their seat vacant, Sam? Who is the person that declared their seat vacant? The case is before Supreme Court. Even when the appeal court ruled that these people remain legitimate members of Rivers State House of Assembly, the governor refused to adhere to that judgment. And somebody will come out and you call or you start saying that INEC should come and conduct election. Conduct which election? Is those seats vacant? Okay. The last time I remembered, or I can recall, we have just 5 seats vacant. The one that is from Ogoni that died, one of the House members that died in Ogoni, his seat is vacant.
Okay, Stanley.
The chief of staff, his seat is vacant. You are aware that he resigned honorably. This other three, Oko Jumbo, who is parading as speaker, his seat has been declared vacant by Right Honorable Martins because he refused to attend required sitting. All
right. I have to move on now, but thank you very much, Stanley. Okay. You've said your piece. Miriam from Okrika. Oh my, I lost that call. Call back if you can. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. If the court gives a pronouncement on the case and INEC refuses to conduct elections, then we can blame the body. But for now, the problem is on the Supreme Court. Okay, I think I've taken this. The next message from OK says, we don't lack judicial function. If anything, we were better for it because those who were loyal to one man as against being loyal to the electorate stayed away from the House. That is OK's position as shared on WhatsApp. The next comment reads, lawmakers are actually the problem we're having in society. This is as a result of selfish interest and sequence to misinterpretation of our Constitution, which has impacted governance negatively. That's from Day Sayefa on WhatsApp. Let me see. Do I have messages on Facebook? Yes, I do. Amechi Ezekiel says, INEC appears to be tied because of its paymasters. The body language of the powers that be at the federal is what INEC may be watching. In the same climb, by-election would have taken place. Maxwell says the slow pace of the judiciary to determine the issue is the cause of our lingering issues in River State. How can it take the court over a year to determine the outcome of a case as sensitive as the issues of governance? High-level incompetence on the part of the judiciary. If I may say what you're saying already, however, the case in River State is common knowledge. They defected, and that is common knowledge, so it shouldn't take the court forever to give a verdict. INEC is complacent because the court is yet to give a verdict. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hello, good evening.
Oracle Shinedu, you are welcome. Gift calling from Yenegoa.
Go ahead, Gift.
Yeah, thank you. Let me contribute like this. You have done a lot as far as I'm concerned by explaining to my friend JJ. See, the truth of the matter is this. Federal High Court, Appeal Court, gave judgments. And in these judgments, 2 are from Appeal Court. 1 from Federal High Court, affirming Martin Shike Amewule, and either gives to any other person in his own imagination will come on air telling you that INEC is the problem, that they refuse to conduct elections to those seats. Who told them that those seats are vacant? These are people that are not even hold the government of the day responsible for anything, but they claim to be opposition parties.
Sorry, don't mind them. Well, apologies, I had to cut you there. We have a commercial coming up. An amazing person has joined me in the studio, and she's here to tell us about their offering. Please stay with us.